daughter's life.
I was adjusting my veil when I heard it. 3 sharp knocks, angry and impatient. My stomach fluttered, not from nerves, but from something darker. Who even knocks like that at a wedding? My bridesmaid whispered. I opened the door, and there she stood, Mrs. Turner, my white neighbor, her lips tight, eyes narrowed, arms crossed. Her voice came out sharp. "How long is this noise supposed to last? Some of us live here, you know." I tried to smile. "It's my wedding day." "Just a few more hours. We'll keep it respectful," she scoffed. Respectful? I've heard drums, shouting, laughter. It's chaos. This isn't a street party. This is a neighborhood. Her words stabbed at me. My chest tightened. It's a celebration. My family is here, my friends. She leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was doing me a favor. Listen, if you don't shut it down, I'll make a call. Don't test me. My mother stepped between us, her tone calm but firm. Please, ma'am, today is sacred for us. We've kept everything on our property. We're not disturbing anyone. Mrs. Turner's smirk spread slowly across her face. Sacred? Don't preach to me. I know what I see. A crowd, music blaring, people everywhere. Doesn't look safe. Her words echoed in my head. Doesn't look safe. Like we were a threat. Like joy in my skin color automatically spelled danger. My bridesmaid whispered behind me, "Ignore her, just close the door." But I couldn't. Her eyes pinned me down, daring me to respond. I forced a laugh, though my voice shook. It's just one day, Mrs. Turner, one day out of your life. Can you not give me that? She tilted her head, feigning thought. One day turns into a pattern. Loud music, strange people coming and going. I'll handle it my way. My mother's hand pressed into my shoulder, steadying me. Please, let's not ruin this day with conflict. Mrs. Turner's eyes flickered with triumph. Conflict? Oh no, dear. I'm protecting the neighborhood. You'll thank me later. I wanted to scream at her. To tell her she wasn't protecting anything, she was just afraid of us existing, of us celebrating loudly, proudly black, but my throat locked. My voice betrayed me. All I managed was a whisper. It's my wedding. She turned sharply, muttering as she walked off. Then you'd better hope I don't have to make that call. The door clicked shut behind her. Silence settled heavy in the room. My bridesmaid finally spoke. What's her problem? It's your wedding, not a crime. My mother sighed, rubbing her temples. People like her don't see weddings, they see excuses. I sank onto the chair, my veil trembling in my hands. My heart hammered. Her smirk replayed in my mind like poison on a loop. I whispered almost to myself, why does she hate us so much? No one answered. That silence cut deeper than any words. Inside, I felt my joy cracking piece by piece. The music outside sounded dimmer now, tainted by the shadow she'd cast. It was supposed to be the happiest morning of my life. Instead, all I could think about was the threat in her eyes, and the fear that she really would make that call. The music was flowing. Laughter, spilling out from my cousins, kids running with ribbons in their hands. For a moment, I almost forgot her threat. Almost. Then I saw her, Mrs. Turner, leaning over the fence, phone pressed against her ear, eyes fixed on us like we were prey. Her voice carried clear across the yard. Yes, I'd like to report. An illegal gathering, loud, suspicious people, mostly black. The words punched through me. My breath caught. My bridesmaid grabbed my arm. Did she just say FBI? She's actually calling them? I shook my head, but my stomach twisted. No, she can't. Who does that over a wedding? My mother's face went pale. She stepped closer, whispering like the words might keep the disaster small. Stay calm. Don't give her more reason. Just breathe, baby. Just breathe. But I couldn't breathe. My chest was burning. Humiliation spread through me like wildfire. I could feel eyes turning toward me, guests whispering. Wanted to shout across the fence, to tear the phone from her hand. Instead, my voice cracked when it finally escaped. "This is my wedding, not a crime scene." Mrs. Turner turned, her lips curling into that smirk I hated. "We'll see what they decide." Her tone wasn't angry anymore. It was gleeful. She wanted this. She wanted men with guns, badges, and suspicion to storm my celebration, to turn joy into fear. The bridesmaid beside me hissed, "Say something! Don't let her—" But my mother's hand shot up, trembling. "No, don't. They twist our words. They twist everything. Silence now is safer." Safe. That word hollowed me out. Safe meant swallowing shame, pretending it wasn't happening. Safe meant letting her call the people who saw us as suspects. Before humans. I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. On the other side of the fence, her voice sharpened, clear enough for us all. "Yes, I'll wait. Yes, send someone. It doesn't feel right. Too many of them. Too loud. Too dangerous." Dangerous. That was the word she chose. Dangerous for dancing, for laughing, for celebrating love in black skin. My bridesmaid's eyes filled with tears. Why does she hate us this much? We've never done anything to her. My mother closed her eyes, her voice trembling. Because she doesn't need a reason. Because us existing loud and joyful is enough. I felt something snap inside me. Not rage, not yet. But the first sharp crack of it, the seed. I stared at Mrs. Turner, her phone call dragging on like a performance, her head nodding as if she was testifying in court. My wedding had become her case file, and all I could think, over and over, was that in her eyes, love wasn't sacred. Our joy wasn't human. We were just noise, just suspicion, just mostly black. The music still played, but it sounded hollow now, like it was echoing inside a cage. I wanted to scream. Instead, I stood there silent, choking on the truth. She hadn't just called the cops on my wedding. She'd called the world to remind us we were never safe, not even on the happiest day of our lives. The music stopped before the engines even shut off. I heard them first, heavy tires rolling on gravel, doors slamming, radios crackling. Then the sight. 2 black SUVs, 3 police cars. Red and blue lights danced against my wedding canopy like a cruel joke. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Children grabbed their parents' legs. My heart dropped to the pit of my stomach. Mrs. Turner's arms folded across her chest, a grin spreading like victory. "Finally. Took them long enough." Uniformed officers marched in, eyes cold, hands resting near their belts. One of them barked, "Whose event is this? Who's in charge here?" For a second, silence. My breath caught. Then my groom stepped forward. Calm. Steady. Too steady. "It's ours. This is my wedding." Before another word, Mrs. Turner cut in, her finger jabbing toward him. "That's him! That's the one you need to check. People like him don't belong here. Look at this crowd. Does it look safe to you?" The words seared my ears. People like him. I felt my fists clench, nails, biting my palms. My groom stayed quiet, jaw locked so tight I thought it might break. One officer eyed him. "Step aside, sir. We need to verify some things." "Verify?" My voice cracked as it shot out of me. "Verify what? That he's breathing? That he's standing here in a suit because he's marrying me?" The officer's eyes flicked over. Me, unimpressed. He didn't answer. That silence cut deeper than words. Mrs. Turner smirked wider, her voice dripping with false concern. "Don't be fooled. They always pretend to be decent until you look closer. You should search him. All of them." A murmur spread through the guests, nervous shifting feet, but no one spoke up. No one. I turned, searching the faces of family and friends. They stared at the ground, at the grass, at their shoes. Not one voice rose for us. That silence felt like betrayal stabbing me in the back. My groom's hand brushed mine, a silent message. Stay calm. But calm felt like suffocation. I whispered, "Say something, please." He shook his head slightly. His eyes stayed locked on the officer, steady, unflinching. Mrs. Turner stepped closer, emboldened by the silence. "You see? They can't even defend themselves. Guilty faces. You have to act." Her words rang louder than the music had minutes ago. My heart raced, each beat like a drum of humiliation. The officers kept their distance, pens scratching on notepads, their glances cold, calculating. My own wedding had turned into an interrogation scene, and all around me, the crowd I loved stayed silent. Not a word. Not a defense. Nothing but the heavy, crushing weight of injustice pressing down harder than the summer sun above us. IDs. All of you. Now. The officer's voice cracked like a whip through the air. My stomach turned. My wedding had become a checkpoint. My groom reached into his jacket, calm, deliberate. He handed his license over without a word. I fumbled. For mine, fingers shaking so badly the card almost slipped from my hand. Mrs. Turner's grin widened. Good, good. They'll find something. They always do. Her whisper was loud enough for everyone to hear. My chest burned with rage. I snapped, "Why don't you show your ID, Mrs. Turner? Since you seem to think this is your event?" She gasped, hand to her pearls. "How dare you? I'm not the one under suspicion here." Suspicion? At my wedding? My aunt's voice cut through, trembling but firm. "This is outrageous. They've done nothing wrong. Let them be." One officer turned to her, hand up like she was a child. "Ma'am, stand back, unless you want to be removed too." Her words died in her throat. She shrank, lips trembling. Wanted to scream for her, but my throat locked. My rage had nowhere to go. A bridesmaid slipped her hand into mine, squeezing hard. Her whisper barely reached my ear. "Don't fight. Please. They'll twist it. They'll say you provoked them." Her words chilled me. Even she was afraid of me speaking. The officer flipped through our IDs, glancing at us like we were criminals waiting for judgment. My heart pounded with each second. Every clap of laughter, every cheer that should have filled this yard was gone, replaced by silence, by humiliation. Mrs. Turner tilted her head, smug. "See? They're stalling. That's what guilty people do." Guilty of what? My voice cracked, half yell, half plea. Of loving each other? Of standing here in clothes we saved months to afford? Of daring to celebrate? The officer cut me off. "Ma'am, calm down. Calm. Always calm. Always smaller, quieter, safer." I wanted to spit the word back at him. My groom's voice, low but steady, broke the suffocating air. "This is our wedding, not a crime scene. You've humiliated my wife, my family, my friends, but this ends now." He looked at me then, his eyes locked on mine, unflinching, a silent promise that this moment wouldn't define us, that no matter how small they tried to make us feel, we would rise from it. The weight of his gaze steadied me, even as the yard stayed heavy with silence, even as fear dug into my chest, because behind his calm, I felt it too. Rage coiled, tight, waiting. And I knew this wasn't the end. "Sir, step aside. We need further questioning." The officer's words stabbed through the air like a blade. My groom froze, jaw tight. Mrs. Turner's clap echoed, sharp and gleeful. "Yes, finally, do your job." Laughter. At my wedding. Something inside me snapped. "This is my wedding." My voice cracked, raw. "Not a crime scene! Do you hear me? Not a crime scene!" Gasps rippled through the guests. A few clapped nervously, the sound awkward, broken. Most just stared, stiff as statues. Mrs. Turner's face twisted. "Ungrateful troublemakers, that's what you are. You think the rules don't apply to you." "Rules?" My throat burned as I shouted back. You mean the stares every time I walked to my own mailbox? The whispers behind curtains? The police car that slowed down just to make me feel watched? Her smirk faltered. The silence around us deepened. I pressed forward, voice trembling but unstoppable. And today, you call the FBI to shut down my wedding, my family, my joy, my love? The officer shifted, uneasy. The badge on his chest glinted in the sun. My reflection looked back at me, small, shaking, furious. This isn't just humiliation, I said, my voice breaking. It's a pattern. It's a cage, and I'm done being quiet inside it. No one moved. No one spoke. The crowd's silence roared louder than Turner's insults ever could. I turned, desperate, searching. All eyes had shifted, every head turned toward one man. My Groom, his calm face, his clenched fists, his steady breath. And in that silence I realized this moment wasn't mine alone anymore. All the rage, all the humiliation, all the eyes, they were on him, and something told me what he was about to say would change everything. Enough. His voice was steady, cold, and final. My Groom stepped forward, every eye locked on him. He reached into his jacket and pulled out his wallet. The air was so still, I could hear my own heartbeat hammering. He handed something to the lead officer. A driver's license. No, an ID. The officer's brows furrowed, then shot up. His lips parted like he'd seen a ghost. Governor Marcus Hayes? Whispers detonated through the crowd. Governor? Did he just say Hayes? No way. Mrs. Turner's smirk shattered. Her jaw dropped, her finger trembling as she pointed. This can't be real. He's lying. The officer straightened his back, stiff now, respectful. His tone changed like night flipping into day. Sir, I apologize. We weren't aware. I wanted to scream. My stomach churned. Not aware? Not aware until you saw a title? I stepped closer, voice sharp as broken glass. So all this? I pointed at the flashing badges, the glares, the humiliation. All of this was fine until you realized he's powerful? No one answered. Silence pressed on my chest like a weight. Would you have dragged him away if he was just another black man without a name you recognized? My voice cracked. Would you have ruined my wedding without hesitation? No one dared look at me. Guests whispered louder now, some pulling out their phones, recording the moment like vultures circling a carcass. Mrs. Turner's face drained of color. You tricked us, she spat, weak and trembling. My Groom turned, his eyes cutting through her like steel. No, you exposed yourselves. The words hung heavy. Gasps, murmurs, a few claps, hesitant at first, then louder, building into a rhythm. That filled the silence, but my chest ached, relief tangled with rage, because in that moment all I could think was, why did it take a title to finally be seen as human? Her knees hit the grass first. Mrs. Turner crumpled there, hands shaking, voice breaking into frantic stutters. I didn't know. It looked suspicious. Her excuses spilled out like vomit, messy, desperate. The crowd that had stayed silent for so long now glared at her. Eyes narrowed, jaws tight, phones raised, recording every tremble of her collapse. I felt a strange mix of relief and simmering, anger. Relief that justice in some form was finally visible. Anger that it had taken this moment for her to feel the weight of her actions. My Groom stepped forward, calm as stone. His voice cut through the chaos, steady and sharp. You never saw us as neighbors. You never saw us as people. Her hand shot out toward him, trembling. Please forgive me, But no one reached for her. Not me, not my Groom, not anyone, who had suffered under her sneers and whispers. She was stripped bare, left only with her shame. The officers who had questioned us, hands hovering over their belts, now shuffled awkwardly, faces red, eyes downcast. For the first time, they realized their part in the humiliation. Mrs. Turner's lips quivered. Her words faltered. She sank further, unable to meet any eyes. My breath caught. My chest ached. Victory felt hollow because of everything she had cost us before this moment. Still, I held my head high, silent, unwavering. The guests shifted, murmurs, of support and shock weaving through them. Some clapped quietly. Others just stared. Her collapse wasn't just physical. It was karmic, public, complete. And for the first time, the power had shifted entirely. No smirk. No words left. Only the weight of her own making. I let the silence linger. Let it settle over everyone who had watched, including her. She had faced herself at last, and she hated it. The music started again, soft at first, then swelling. It felt different now, not carefree but heavy with meaning. Every note reminded me of what we'd endured. My groom reached for my hand, his fingers wrapped around mine like armor. I could feel the steady strength in him, the calm after the storm. When I spoke my vows, my voice didn't tremble. It carried the weight of everything we had faced. "We stand," I whispered, my words cutting through the tension still hanging in the air, because they tried to silence us. The guests, who had been frozen with fear or shame, cheered now. Some clapped loudly, emboldened. Hidden allies we hadn't noticed before were clapping the hardest, their faces alight with approval. I saw the memory of Mrs. Turner's collapse, sharp and vivid, flashing in my mind, but it didn't sting anymore. It was a reminder of justice served, of karma taking its place. I turned to the crowd, meeting each gaze, my voice firm and unwavering. Today we married under shadows, but we will live in light. The yard filled with applause, laughter returning, stronger than before. I felt a warmth I hadn't felt all day, the warmth of being seen, of being celebrated, of being alive despite it all. My groom squeezed my hand again. "We made it," he said softly, his voice low enough for only me to hear. "Yes," I replied, "and we'll keep making it. Every day, together, without fear." For the first time that day, the world felt right. Not perfect, but ours. And that was enough. We smiled at each other, quiet in the middle of the chaos we had survived. The ceremony went on, but it no longer felt fragile. It was ours, triumphant, unbroken, and full of light.